I've got a simple little layout that I made today. It's a boy layout, even though the Midnight and Indigo Heels collection could technically be called a bit more girlier than boy. But I like the layout, the way it came together, and the way that the colours just sing. So I mostly went for a purpley blue kind of tone, and it all started with this wreath here on the chipboard piece. So those purpley blue leaves are what set off the whole layout, and it's where it all came together. It all started. So this photo here is just a photo of my son in a park in Sydney, and he's just swinging on, I don't know what kind of swing that is. It's sort of like a hammock swing maybe. And it's just a sweet little photo of him, and just a moment in time really. That's nothing drastically award-winning kind of a moment, but it is a sweet moment that I wanted to document in not just a Project Life pocket. I wanted to make a layout, but I didn't want to do the 12 by 12 size because of, it's not one of those huge moments, not a multiple photo or anything like that. So instead I've gone for an 8.5 by 11 layout, and that's where this is going. So thought I'd use a doily, but that quickly goes out the door. And I'm just trying to work out some other layering pieces, just because I want to border the photo to make sure that it sticks out and it's not, making it, I don't want it to be contrasting to that wreath. I want it to pop out, but also highlight that wreath as well. So just looking through the frames and a little bit of Project Life cards. There's this packaging that I decide I think I'm going to border the photo with. And then I decide I wonder if some Project Life cards would be some good bordering things. And then I thought, what if I put them on the page as background? So this is where I'm thinking at the moment. So I've cut that down just so that it's a little matte for my photo. And I'm just trying to see if I can position these two Project Life size cards. So one is scripty writing and the other is that paintbrush kind of strokes, and they're both from the Cocoa Vanilla line, the kit. And I'm just trying to see, so I'm happy with this at the moment, so I'm thinking this is loosely what's going to happen, and I'm just having a look through the rest of the embellishments to see what else I could pull out to add to the design of the page. So there's these lovely Indigo Hill 2 stickers, and they've got lots of lovely words, and the colours go so well together. And I cut off some of them, so they've got the backing still on them, so I can move them around. I can put them back in the box if I decide not to use them. But that's the beauty of cutting things out rather than peeling them back. So I'm looking at this chipboard. I know that banner is the wrong colours, so it quickly comes off. And then I remember that all these leaves and these lovely flowers are in the kit. So I'm just going to pull out some of these lovely embellishments, have a look through and see what I think go with the colour tone. I don't want to add in too much of the colours, so I've got in that little bit of the blue there in the floral design down the bottom there. But there's a little bit of yellow and red, but it's not so in your face that it has to be another accent colour. It's sort of just a little pop of colour there that, doesn't distract from the whole page. So adding that backing matte piece to the photo, and I think I'm just having a play here, but what ends up happening is the bottom of the photo is underneath the wreath and the top of the photo is up, goes up out of the wreath, and then the leaves on the side overlap the photo so that it is more natural looking rather than it being a top layer. I think that way it makes it look like it's meant to be there and it's part of the page rather than it's just something plonked on or plonked underneath it. So to give these Project Life cards some definition, I'm just using a pen to outline them with some scribbly black thin lines, and I'm just going to attach them with some double-sided tape in a moment. And as you can see, that's the start of the page. So just a simple, if anyone could grab those 3 things or 4 things, a photo, the wreath and 2 Project Life cards, and you could put them on the page just like I have, and then the rest of the page will be so different. So it's actually one of those things that I could scrap lift myself over and over and it will always look different. And if someone else scrap lifted or was inspired by this little design, then theirs look different depending on their style and what they preferred. So just using some wet glue to glue that down, and then using my double-sided tape to put the photo down, just because I want it to stick to the paper underneath the wreath and then up the top over the wreath. So I didn't want to add foam tape because it'll just naturally have a little bit of elevation up the top, but I also wanted it to be able to stick to both. If I put the wet glue, I would have had to hold it longer, and wet glue behind a photo is not really nice. It sometimes can make your photo wrinkle and not be the best texture for a photo that you would like. So I'm going to have a play with my title. I figure the title needs to be something bold and big enough that it sticks out because of that wreath and the Project Life cards already dominating the page. So I did go have a look at the chipboard, but then I found this Hello Gorgeous on the clear sticker sheet. I'm just trying to work out where I want it. And if I put it up the top there, that's going to be the wrong way for the way the design's going. So the design's going horizontal from the top right to the bottom left. So if I put the title up on that top left, it would mean it was going the other way, and the Project Live cards in the position of the wreath was not appealing to my eye with that horizontal design. So instead I go design. I don't know what I'm doing with that hello there. Or maybe I went to press something on my tablet but decided not to or something. I'm not too sure. So my tablet's up there in that top left corner of the screen, just barely out of sight. Now just gluing and holding that down a little. The chipboard, because it has that photo, it is bent a little bit, so you have to coerce it to stay there in the position that you want. And look at these exclusive Kitaholic flower wreath or flower cluster. That would be a better word. It just fits so perfectly in that spot there, so I glue that straight down without giving it much thought. And then this cluster up here goes so well here. So it's like those little flowers and clusters were designed just for this layout. So I'm just going to stick some leaves behind there, add the floral up the top there, and look at that. So beautiful. It's so pretty. This layout you could make for a girl layout as well. I love the tones of the colour in this kit and this two collections, and they go so well together. So I'm just sticking some of these tiny word stickers, I guess you could call them. That one up there says risk taker, and then these ones down here I'm going to have a play with adding it. I know there's not really much journaling that I want to add to this. This is going to sit, next to the rest of the photos while we're at the park on a Project Life page, and it really just doesn't need any journaling. It's just, I just wanted to highlight the cuteness of the photo. So I'm going to use my tiny attachler and staple this chipboard heart here, and that's going to make the cluster. I thought down that bottom underneath the title would be where it would go, but it makes that cluster too wide, so the heart needed to go up the top to flow with that wreath and that way. So in terms of that diagonal design, so I'm just going to add some more of these stickers down the bottom here with all those phrases on it. And I do end up changing a little bit after a little bit of time, just because it became a bit too cluttered for my liking. So down there we got 3 of them going on, and then we're just going to have a play with some other things to see what else I need to just finish it off with. So cut down those leaves just so I could stick them out there, and another one just to make it look a bit more fuller. It already looks so lovely anyway, it didn't really need much, but it was nice to add just a little bit more. Now there's these little crosses on the clear sticker, and it's sort of like doodling on your page, and I like the fact that they came together in their own little cluster on the sticker, but also, if you wanted to put them on there, and you could add some more yourself, and it would be different texture because of the shininess of the clear sticker, but then if you did it with so shiny. So it's nice to have those little little embellishments that could add that different texture rather than them all looking the same on your page. I think you know, it works for some pages and some people really love it, but I find I like to have a lot of different texture going on, you know, chipboard and wood veneer a lot of time, although there's not today. Some die cuts, some stickers, some cardstock stickers, you know, everything, pattern paper, everything has its own look and texture. Even if you're just looking at, you're not touching it, you can see the texture and the way it moves around on the page. So here I go, I add on this word sticker here and then realise that wrist, it doesn't say wrist taker, that big one is too chunky and in the wrong spot. So I'm going to pull that off. Put a heart up there and put that one, my darling, up there with that wrist taker. And I did contemplate moving these, just slightly moving them, not where they are, but just, you know, moving them up a little. But they're glued down too well. So instead I add a doodly border and think about what I'm going to finish the page off with. It's come together fairly quickly and it doesn't need too much more, but just want to make sure that there's, you know, that the layout's the way I want it. So I considered journaling down there. That would be where I would put it if I was going to journal. But like I said a million times already in this video, I don't need to journal. So I love those flare buttons and really wanted to use them, but they're not what is needed. So just having a look at the project life, so you know, cut apart sheets, and if there was anything I wanted to put on there, but that is not the case. So instead I go for enamel dots, thinking this will be one of the last things that goes on my page. It was nice to get the enamel dots that go with the collection because the purple tones, and all the tones really, but especially the purple tones because I'm working with purple and blue today, went really well together without having to use anything else. Like I didn't have to use mixed media to add splatters because my enamel dots weren't the right shade. I find sometimes that, you know, I have a lot of enamel dots in my stash. However, when new collections come out, especially like this purple, I won't have a lot of purple in my enamel dot stash. It's good to have the enamel dots that go with the kit so that you could just put them on without even really thinking about it and just know that they go so perfectly together. So just auditioning these hearts to see where I want it to go. And I did not see this camera when I first looked through the embellishment stash, but I found it luckily at the end here, and it goes so well in that spot that I pull up those little crosses, find a spot for them. It's not that one, it's this spot here. So that's just a nice little hidden detail, and the camera's going to go there, and that means that those word stickers are not so bulky then. It sort of fits in with that cluster group rather than it you know, being a straight edge there across the flower. So adding in that heart there, found the one with the right tone, adding staples because the other hearts had staples, and we're going to the close-up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you to crack open those November kits and use them, and make sure that you're on the Facebook pages or linking us on the Instagram to make sure that we all get to see your lovely creations. I'll see you next project and check out everyone else's in the meantime. Bye.